Well, hello, and welcome to my latest project. This is one I'm actually quite excited about. I was very lucky at an auction recently and I managed to pick up a machine that I've been coveting for quite a while. Now, it's not in great condition, it's going to need a bit of work, and I'd like to introduce you to it. Well, here it is. It's called a Gravograph Pantograph engraving machine. As you can tell, it needs a bit of love and care. It's been rather badly abandoned. I'm very sad to see that, you know, in its day, these machines would have probably cost, I don't know, but many hundreds of pounds. And of course, it's been superseded now by CNC engraving machines. And this is an old style manual one. The most exciting part of it, of course, for me, is that it comes already with a bunch of letters. So if you're not familiar with these machines, the idea is, well, first of all, what is a pantograph? A pantograph was developed many centuries ago, really. I think probably around the 18th century and probably even before in some form or another. And it was used for drawing as well as engraving. And the idea is that you have a pointed bit here, which you follow this letter with, and the printing or the engraving head here engraves the same pattern into something that you've secured into this vise. The beauty of pantographs is you change the ratio by moving this arm along and this arm along here, which will either, well, generally reduce the size of this letter to whatever size you want. So that's the basic concept of the pantograph. As you can tell, this one needs a hell of a lot of work done to it. It's very rusty. It must have been left outdoors or at least somewhere very damp. A lot of it's been damaged, but the motor works, the levers, everything's present, except the actual graver, which I'm going to have to probably make if I can't find one, and the belt that goes between the graving head and the graver head and the motor. So I have a particularly bad track record of taking things apart and then putting them back together, having a couple of pieces left behind. I don't know if you've experienced that. I'm sure some of you have. So I'm going to take extra care and start bit by bit, not do my usual thing of just taking the whole thing apart, but I'm going to do it bit by bit and then try and, while I'm derusting the piece, label the various pieces on a photograph I've taken, store them separately in different Ziploc bags or something like that, so that I've got all the elements together, so that I don't have like one screw that goes there and another, you know, grub screw that goes there. And the first thing I'm going to do is to take the main part here apart, so the table and the vise. Well, these have come up reasonably nicely. They're a bit pitted and everything, and I know some people would actually just make new ones, but I don't think that's worth it. They're just supports, and I'm going to replace the screws though, because they were very rusty, and I think that would be nice. In terms of the actual plate, very deep scratches and some very deep marks. It certainly looks a lot better than it was, and I've glued that back down with some contact cement. But I don't propose to go any deeper than this, because these scratches are very deep, and again, as long as it's clean and you know, in good order, I'm happy with that. As you can tell, I'm not a perfectionist. I know some of you will probably balk at this, but I want to be able to use it. I don't want to eat off it. But anyway, let's get on. So last night I had a complete nightmare. I was trying to put the vice and carriage back together, and one of the gibs from the carriage drive fell on the floor, and I couldn't find it anywhere. I looked for hours, I looked everywhere, and I thought, oh God, here we go. I called the suppliers, they don't have a spare, and as an act of desperation I asked my 18-year-old son, who's got far better eyes than me, to look, and after 45 minutes he did find it, but it wasn't on the floor, it was in the dust collection of my table saw. Anyway, these things happen, and I'm afraid that with the kind of stress of it all, I forgot to film putting it back together. But anyway, here it is. I'll do a close-up of it. It's all cleaned, re-oiled, and it works beautifully. Here we go, and it works really nicely. It's all very smooth. I've tightened the gibs. It's all very nice. I'm very happy with it, and it was really rough before, so you know, I think that's reasonably successful. So onwards and upwards. Well, thank you very much for bearing with me this far. So that's pretty much the sort of cleaning up part of the operation finished, and I'm just waiting for a couple of spare parts to arrive from the suppliers, and then I will get to work on learning how to use this thing. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed it. If you want to see the next part, please subscribe and click the bell next to the subscribe button, and that way you'll get an alert when that video is up and published. Anyway, thanks so much as usual. I'd love your comments, I'd love your thoughts, etc. Please subscribe and please like if you like, and I will add some stills of the before and after so you can see a little better what I've done. Anyway, thanks so much. See you next time.